Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is Chicken Birria Quesatacos. Now I love birria, typically make it with beef for my preference, but today we're gonna do it with chicken because you can do this with just about any type of protein. Essentially what we're gonna do is sear off some meat, add it to a braise, and then let it cook until it falls apart. Then we're gonna take all of those ingredients from the braise, blitz them up, so you have a nice consommé that you can dip your quesatacos into. And when I say quesatacos, all I really mean is a smaller version of a quesadilla. So we're gonna start with the chicken. Using thighs, you're gonna want about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. I'm not gonna take any fat off, I'm just gonna let it render down in the braise. So boneless thighs. Thighs have a great texture when they're kind of cooked and braised in that manner versus white meat, which is going to be a little bit tougher to pull in the end. So we're not going to do much of this at first. I'm just adding some black garlic salt to the exterior. It's going to pick up most of its flavor during the braise. So right now all I want is just a little bit of salt on here. Now let's take a look at some of our aromatics. So we've got a cup of white onion diced up. We got about 5 cloves of garlic here. These just need to get crushed and peeled. And then about 1/4 cup of chipotles and adobo. For the seasoning, we're gonna be using Cattleman's Grill Mexicano, just kind of a general taco seasoning. Now these don't have to get minced up because they're just going into a braise that we're gonna blitz with an immersion blender later. So they can go in just kind of crushed in big chunks. We're cooking inside the Yoder Smokers YS640s pellet grill today. Hitting it with some duck fat inside the Black Lock deep skillet. And then we're gonna get a really nice sear on these. The grill's running at 500, so it's super hot. We're gonna try not to overcrowd this skillet so we can get some good sear. Now, at this point in this cook, all we're looking to do is create a little fond on the bottom of the pan and get a little bit of color on the chicken itself. So we've got some colors on the thighs now. We're gonna pull these off. They don't need to be fully cooked at this time. Their internal temperature is pretty insignificant right now. What we're trying to do is just get a little bit of color on them, and then you see this fond, especially that fond that's right over the fire. That adds a lot of flavor to this braise. Now we're gonna add our diced onions to this skillet, and as those kind of start to lose some of their water, it's going to bring up some of this fond, and we want that fond in the braise. We got a little bit of browning on the onions now. You can see that we've gotten most of that goodness up off the base of the skillet. I'm gonna throw these garlic cloves in here and just give those about 30 seconds, and then everything goes into the pot. Next, we're gonna add in chipotle and adobo sauce. We're gonna add in a couple tablespoons of our Mexicano seasoning. I'm making this real simple. This is a very approachable way to do this sort of a stew. Next, I've got about 1.5 cups of just crushed tomato sauce. And then we're going to throw the chicken thighs back in. Get all that worked around and top it off with some chicken stock. Cover it up and let it braise. Just want to make sure that these are fully submerged. Again, we're going to be turning this into a sauce in the end. I'm going to drop the temperature down to 450 and just let this rock until those chicken thighs are falling apart. About 45 minutes the chicken's been in here now. They're temping in the 180s, which is great for thighs because it's going to make them super silky. So what I want to do now is I want to pull the thighs out, and this is the reason why we left them whole versus dicing them up. It's because we want to get these out of here. We want to be able to shred them by hand, and then we're going to let the rest of this kind of keep cooking while we do that, and then blitz it with the immersion blender so we can turn everything into a nice smooth sauce for dipping in. Some of these pieces are just like falling apart just as I pull them out. Chipotles, and we got just about all the meat out of there. Now this stuff is hot out of the braise. It's shredding beautifully. You can manage this by putting some cotton gloves or some knit gloves underneath your nitriles without any trouble. But I want to work with this while it's hot, and then I want to go ahead and get that sauce, that Consomé blended up, so we can add some of it to this to help rehydrate it. Now we're gonna go to work with the immersion blender. And this is thickened up quite a bit. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more chicken stock because it's just a little bit thicker than the consistency that I'm going for. I'm just gonna spoon some of this back on top of the chicken like I was talking about. Keep it really nicely hydrated. And massage that into that shredded chicken. So now we're gonna prep the quesatacos. We'll start by dipping them in our consomme that we've made and just laying those out. We'll hit them with some cheese, with some chicken, and then onto the griddle. Now let's hit these with some cheese. I'm just gonna do 1/2. We're using the Chihuahua cheese, which is a nice creamy melty cheese. Kind of think of it as like Mexican mozzarella. I load this up with some of that braised chicken. 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of chicken. Starting weight's gonna get you at least 6, even 8 of these, depending on how much you load them up. Now we fold and we head to the griddle. Back in the grill now, it's set to 475. I've had this griddle pan preheating in here. I'm just hitting that with some neutral flavored oil. Let's start right here in front. Work our way back. So all we're looking to do now is just to get a little crunch on the outside and melt that cheese on the inside. And because of that, I'm gonna leave the door open. We don't really need to trap the heat. It's getting that direct heat from the bottom side onto that cheese. There we go. Just looking for that crust. You can already see the cheese pulling inside, so I know we've got that accomplished. That means we just need a little bit more color on the opposite side. Now the side closest to the firebox is cooking a little bit warmer. You can see the difference in the color, so I'm just gonna give this a spin. Feeling nice and crispy on the outside, melty on the inside. Birria paint job on the outside. I can't put them out of order now. Shut it down. Let's bring it all together and get a taste. That cheese pull. Flavor packed, no doubt about it. Especially with that sauce, that consomme on the side. Adds so much more flavor to what's already going on in the chicken. Texture's great. I love me a quesadilla, I love me a quesataco. And this feels like a really approachable one. We eat more chicken than anything else in our house. This is one I'll be recreating. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out all the products featured in today's video at atbbq.com. If you enjoyed the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue or barbecue legends are made. If that's wrong, I don't know what's right.